Okay, in part two, we talked about what we hope to accomplish with our project. Now, in part three, we are actually finally going to start designing. Yes, this is what I've been looking forward to. I'm quite excited about this. We're going to get some work done and we're going to feel really good about ourselves. So, we're going to mosey on over here to Solidworks. And like all great beginnings, we are going to hit File, New, Part, and hit OK. And guess what? A whole bunch of nothingness. But this is perfect. This is what we want because we are going to bend it to our will. Uh, now I'm going to go ahead and just hit File, Save, and I'm just going to save this to the desktop. I know I'm a rebel. I'm going to create a folder, and we're going to call this the 8020 CNC tutorial. Yes. Okay. There we go. And this part, the first part we are going to make is the front support. So I'm going to name this front support. And I'll go ahead and hit save. And guess what? We now have our first official part. Uh, now, I haven't talked much about what material we are going to use to connect all our 80/20 together. And so we know that we're using 80/20 a little bit for the frame, but honestly, I think you're going to be surprised because there's not going to be that much of it. Um, I don't think there's going to be as much as you're expecting. And so now we need to talk about, okay, well, what is going to be the frame going to be made of? And I have a sensibility about me, and something in my kind of design experience that I try to keep my parts count to a minimum. And my philosophy is that uh, the fewer the parts count, the more simple you need to make your design. The more simple you make your design, the less there is to go wrong with it, and there are less things that there are to introduce error into the equation. So we are going to take a very minimalistic approach to that, but I don't think that we have to sacrifice quality to do that. And as we're going, I think you'll see why. Now, as far as material goes, don't run me out of town just yet, but well, we're going to make it so that there's different options, but I'm going to design this with like a Baltic birch in mind. A plywood, yes, a plywood. Now you're thinking to yourself, oh great, we're using plywood to build this CNC, I'm out of here. Don't leave just yet. First off, if you really want to, you could use aluminum, I promise. Secondly, I think you'll be surprised at how rigid of a machine you can actually build with this, and the way we're going to do it, I think it's going to be quite solid. So don't don't ditch me just yet. Uh, in another 10 minutes, if you still think I'm full of whatever, then by all means leave. But hang around for a bit more. Just stick with me because I think I think you'll start to see kind of what we're trying to do here. So I'm going to go to Sketch. I'm going to make a center line. Now, part of great design is actually laziness. Now, I myself am a very lazy person, and meaning that if I can get away with only doing something once instead of twice, I will do it. I will take a shortcut every time. So we're going to go ahead and do that just now. Let's see here. Now, I'm not going to look at that. Well, now, bear with me. My scroll wheel acts differently on this computer than something that I am accustomed to. But and so it has a tendency to run my way. So don't get too mad at me. It's just my scroll wheel acting up. All right, we're going to create that basic frame. Now what we're looking at right here is basically the front of the machine. We decided that with this machine we're going to have approximately a 2 foot by 2 foot cutting area. So I think that I think for an early estimate, I think we're going to shoot for 32 inches total. Now, we're only building half of it right now, so we're actually going to go 32 divided by 2. And boom, there we have 16 inches. I'm envisioning this being about, whoops, that's not, there we go. About probably 4 inches high. Yeah, it's just about right. We're having a little step up right here. No real reason for it, but let's go about 1 point. Well, nah. I changed my mind a lot. We're going to go down to 1 right here. Let's see here. Nope. Let's say about 4 inches right there. And that's fine. And then let's just go ahead and make this a 45-degree angle. Oop, and it's balking at me there. There we go. And let's see here. Oh, now I gotta do math. What is that? It's okay, watch Alex. 120 degrees, is that right? Is that your 45? No, that's not it. It's 135, is it? Gosh, I'm getting rusty at this. Yeah, it's gotta be 135, I think. See, Alex is starting to look, you know, well, Alex, you don't know basic angles. What do you know? Well, that's a valid point. Okay, anyways, there we are. This is now, keep in mind, this is only half the picture. Now, this is completely unnecessary, but I like doing sketch fillets. I like to have a nice rounded kind of view on things, and we're just going to put a half-inch fillet there and kind of make it look pretty. What can I say? I like the finer things in life. All right, there is that, and now, if you remember earlier when I said I was lazy, I am. So we're going to go ahead and just copy things over. Let's see, make sure we get everything, and we're going to mirror it right like that. And guess what? We have our other half now. And right now, there we have our basic shape. There goes my scroll wheel again. And we're going to exit this sketch. And guess what? There we have. Oh no. Is it true? Oh, there we go. My middle scroll wheel, my click and rotate wasn't working, and that was very distressing to me. Okay, so we got that shape, and now we're going to go to feature, and we are going to extrude. And we are going to extrude 3/4 of an inch, 0.75, and hit enter. And there is our official first part of our CNC. Aren't you excited? Isn't this great? Now, obviously, this part's not going to stay like this forever. Right now, this has a long way to go, but that's okay. We're going to go click here. We're going to go to features, and we're going to do our hole wizard. Now, where did that little thing get off to? Hole wizard. There it is, right there. Now, I believe 80/20. Let's go back and look at our 80/20 right here. And the flavor that we're going to use is the 30/30. Let's see here. Yep, 30/30. I'm going to wait for my slow internet to come. There we go. Here we go. If we look right here, we can actually get our dimensions right off of it, and I always forget these. So looks like our center spacing on these guys right here is 1.5, and if memory serves me right, these holes right here are immediately ready for a 3/8 tap. I believe that's what it is. I think it's bigger than a 1/4 inch. I think it's a 3/8 inch tap. So so let's go ahead and make that. Okay, I was trying to remember those. That extrusion is 3x3. We're gonna go ahead and scroll here a little bit. So no, is it 5/16? No, 5/16. Not 3/8. 5/16. Yeah, 5/16. My bad. My bad. Okay, we're going to do a little bit of a loose fit on this one just because we want a little bit of wiggle room. I don't think we're going to need it, but just in case, if you disagree with me, you can write me some nasty hate mail. And we're going to do 1, 2, 3, and 4 of these things. Okay, let's do our front view, and we're going to zoom in a little bit. And we're going to set up some relations here. Okay, those are horizontal. These are horizontal. These are vertical. And these are vertical. Now we're going to dimension these 1.5 inches and 1.5 inches. Okay. Now we want the center of this all to be 1.5 inches from the top. Now if that's so actually I think we can just cheat a little bit, and I believe that if we just make that 3/4 of an inch, we're going to come out okay. Because because if it's a 1.5 right there, that means a 3/4 in the middle. So we want it 1.5 from the top. So yeah, that should be just fine. So what that's going to do is that's going to put the top of the 80/20 right there. And likewise, I think what we want to do is we want to put the 80/20 right there as well. Now I'm already actually seeing a problem with this. Okay, I forgot about that. So we're going to move that to about 2 inches, I think. And you'll see why in a bit here. But we're going to have to put our screw coming out of here too. And so I think that we're going to need about 2 inches right there. We'll see. We might be wrong. Or in fact, I guarantee we're going to have to change that dimension later. But for now, that'll work just fine. So if we go ahead and hit OK there, and we can see that there we go. There we got. There we have our holes there. The hole wizard, wonderful. And oops, you know what? I forgot something. I'm gonna have to go back at that. I only did half of it because remember I'm lazy and I don't like doing things over and over again. I'm just gonna add a center line in here, and then I'm gonna go mirror entities, and just gonna say what are we gonna mirror? These guys, and we're gonna mirror it about right there. Hit OK, and guess what? Just like that, we have holes on both sides now. Makes it really nice. It's really nice to be able to just do that. So, and the other thing is, let's say for whatever reason, the reason I do that is for whatever reason, if I come over here and I decide that you know what, that's not 2 inches. Whoops, I just painted a new hole right there. Delete. Whoop. Go here. Hit edit undo. There we go. So for whatever reason, if I need to change this, and let's say that we make that a 2.5 inches instead, it changes it over there too. Nope, not 2.5, so just 2.5. And you can see that that guy over there jumps too. So if you got to edit things, you only have to edit it once, which is really nice. And I'm actually going to go ahead and leave that 2.5 here for now because we'll probably need that room over there, and you'll see why here in a bit. Okay, well guess what? We're going to go ahead and hit save. We have our first piece of our CNC. Now this CNC is looking pretty sad right now. I think we're going to need to do a little bit more. And you are completely right about that. We are actually going to go ahead and add part of the frame now. Now, remember our frame is out of our 80/20 extrusions. Now, let me ask you this. Do you think we should go ahead and model this right now? Yeah. No. Do I want it in SolidWorks? Yes. Should we model that? No. Right now? No. I'm going to hit CAD files, length, well, hit generate here. I don't know if it lets us do it on, please log in to enable download. Okay. It looks like, I wasn't planning on downloading it from this website, but it looks like you can download it right off of uh, the 8020 website, which is really cool. I don't know if I have a login for this, to be honest. I don't. Okay. Sorry for the delay. We're going to go over to GrabCAD. There we go. Okay, and I'm already logged in. Looks like it. And I'm going to type in 8020 3030. And let's see if we can get, you know what? I lied again. We're not going to get this from GrabCAD. We're going to get it from 3D Content Central. And 3D Content Central is actually SolidWorks only. And so they only do SolidWorks type stuff. So we're going to do 8020 3030. My main point is I've just shown you 3 different places where you can get stuff. And that don't model something if you don't have to. It's very easy to go and get a lot of this stuff right from the website. Let's see here. So I'm going to configure and download. Okay, looks like login. Okay, now you know my email address. Please do not email me. Just don't. Okay. Let's go and do a custom length here, and let's say 32 inches. There we go. All right, and we're going to download the 3030. And if I click on that, yeah, it is going to open it right here for us. What I am actually going to do is I'm going to go to here, File, Save As, and I'm just going to go ahead, and it's in our Downloads folder, but I'm just going to go ahead and save a copy into I'm going to go ahead and save a copy into our work folder right here, just to make it simple, because we might want to reference it later. So there we go. We have it in there. All right, so we have our 8020. I'll go ahead and close that. We have our front support. It's time to start putting stuff together, so we're going to go to New, and this time we're going to create an assembly. And okay, now it's well, once again we're blank, so we're going to take our front support, go ahead and put that in there. Okay, now we're going to insert. We're going to go and browse. We're going to put our piece of 3030 in there, and boom, just like that. Now this is the fun part. We're going to actually mate all of these together. So we're going to hit there, and we're going to mate. And whoops, my scroll button is always acting funny. Okay. Okay, then we're going to, so what I did is I just mated this surface right here. Oops, so we don't want to do that one again. I'll clear that. To the other surface, to the opposite corner over there. Well, now what we're going to do is we're actually going to do our mates the same way that these will be physically connected. So we're actually going to, we'll mate that right there into that right there. And you can see now, and we're going to mate here to here. And the reason I'm doing that one is before it would rotate, but now it will not rotate. And guess what? We have our first 2 pieces of our CNC put together. I'm going to try this. If I hit Control and no, Command, no, okay. Well, we're just going to go ahead and insert another component, existing part, and I'm just going to make this browse for it again. Okay. much in the same way, we're going to go ahead and mate these up. We're going to mate that side. Oops, oh man, that scroll wheel, that just likes to go and go. And that one, and hit OK. Oops, now I can't see it. There we go. Come on. We'll go ahead and just do that guy down there because we can see it. And that guy right there. Very good. And here, I'll show you. See, right now, we can rotate. See, and that's no bueno. We don't want that. So, of course, now we can't. Now I can't see it. Let's see here. Get it right, kind of close. There we go. And it'll rotate just ever so slightly. Okay. So, with no mate selections in here, if I just hit OK, it'll go ahead and just tell it that we're done with the matings. Now, to keep my parts count low, you'll see here in a minute, you could put 80-20 pieces right here and right here. I'm not going to, but we'll revisit that later. But for now, let's go ahead and start talking about our back piece. Our back piece is going to have to be very similar to our front piece. So similar, in fact, that I think that we're going to cheat a little bit here. I think what we're going to do is we're actually not going to create a new piece for the back, but rather we're going to do a configuration of our front support. So our front support is really just going to be our front and back support, but we'll leave the name there just for fun. Let's go ahead and hit our configurations. And actually, wait a minute. It's been a while since I've done this. I haven't stretched these particular muscles in a while. We're going to add a configuration. Our configuration name is going to be back. And okay. Okay, so in the back, I am going to go over here and I am going to look at our counter bore, and I am going to hit Edit Sketch Plane, and I'm going to flip over and I'm going to select this plane instead and hit OK. Now I believe, now what we've done is we've put our holes on the back side. Now the cool thing is if I go back here and I look at our default configuration, which is the front. Oh, no, did I lie? Oh, shucks. Okay, let's see here. If I go, I've done this before, I promise. Okay. Oh, okay, specifically for this configuration. Okay, that's what I needed to do. So if I hit for this configuration, they are on the front. If it's for the back configuration, it is now on the back. So and that's cool. So now from now on, whenever we make any changes, we can specify that is it a change for everything or is it a change just for this configuration? Super handy. So we're going to go back into our assembly, and sorry, it takes a little bit. There we go. A little sluggish right there at first. Now we're going to go ahead, insert component, and we're going to insert the front support. But wait a minute. Okay, now could we just go ahead and switch this and swap it to where the holes were in the front, or just turn this thing 180 degrees and call it good? Yes, we could, but that's not what we're going to do in this case. Okay, we're actually going to keep it in the same plane. I'm actually going to go here and we're going to go to component properties and I'm going to select the back and hit OK. And now we are looking at we have our correct orientation, and we are actually looking at the back configuration. So in the future, whenever we do, in the future, whatever changes we make to this will carry through. So that's very important. That's one thing I love about parametric modeling. So we're going to hit mate, and we're going to rotate around. We're going to mate right there. Okay. Now this one we don't have to get quite as crazy with the mates, is because it'll hold in place just fine. Let's see here. What on earth? Nope, that's not what I want. Clear selections. I don't know what just happened. This mouse is being really funky. What on earth? You're not right in the head. I'm using my laptop here because I want to sit in my easy chair. My desktop computer does this better, but my MacBook Pro, my trusty MacBook Pro. Okay, it looks like I made a mate on something that I should not have. The coincident right there. Okay. I don't know what I did wrong. I did something wrong. I'm just going to hit delete that guy. Okay, there we go. So we want to make this. Actually, I might have just deleted a perfectly good mate there. I don't know. Mate that guy and that guy. There we go. Hit OK. We want to mate that guy, that guy. There we go. I'm not sure what I did wrong before. I did something. Cup. And then right there and right there. Now, do I need to go over here and make my mates? Nah, there's no reason to. I could go and mate that together, but there's not any real reason to. This will be just fine the way it is. All right, well, guess what? We now have the base started for a CNC. Pretty sweet, huh? Something I do want to do is let's go ahead and put a spoil top on it, just for the sake of making it look more complete. I like to have things kind of looking, more or less, finished as we go. So just for the sake of looks, but so let's go ahead and we'll make one more part in this video before we stop it and take a break. So what I'm going to do is I could do the math, but I'm lazy. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to do an evaluation here. And I'm going to say, okay, well, we want the spoil board to come right around here somewhere. And so I'm just going to use I'm just going to use this and then a little bit of deductive reasoning to find out. Okay. So that's 24 inches. So I'm thinking that if I make that 24, I think a 26-inch spoil. I think a 25.5-inch spoil board will work just fine. And then from there to there, that's yeah, 33.5. I'm going to forget those numbers here in just a second. I guarantee it. 33.5. We're going to do this on the top plane. We're going to do a sketch. $33.5 was it? I sure hope so. And then 25, I think it was. I might be wrong about this. We'll see. That's the nice thing, is we can always change it later. Okay. This spoil board is going to be incredibly simple, or this part anyways, because this is most likely just going to be a sheet of MDF right there. And you know what? I'm a sucker for flare, so I'm going to go ahead and there's no reason I'm doing it for me to do this really, other than I want to, and you can't stop me. So I'm going to put a 1/4-inch flare on the chamfer on the top of it just to make it look good. And then I'm going to go into appearances, And let's see, I think it's under organics, woods, and I'm gonna pick a nice wood for the top of this. I don't know that you want to actually use a wood on it, but let's just try a satin finished oak. Yeah, yeah, isn't that pretty? Okay, no reason for this at all. No real reason for this other than I want to. Uh, okay, and we're gonna save this as spoil board. Bingo. Now I'm going to show you a little trick I like to use. We're going to go and insert a component, existing part, spoil board. Okay, I still don't know if I got my dimension right. Okay, well first off, my scroll wheel's bugging me again. I'm going to mate the bottom to the top. Okay. Now I'm going to show you a. Ideally, what I want to do is I want to attach that spoil board into the top there. So I'm going to go ahead and mate the front of this to right there. Okay. And so did I get my, sorry this is jumping around. I hope you don't get, not making you sick or something. Okay, yeah, I got that right then. Now I want this to actually mount in, be able to mount into the track. So I'm going to put some holes in the top actually here is what I'm going to do. But right now, I think I need to make that wider. I think I want that to cover up and be able to mount into the track right there. So that needs to go to right about there. And obviously right here, I'm short. It looks like I'm about an inch short. So let's go ahead and go back there to our spoil board. Great thing about parametric modeling is if you make a lot of mistakes, like I make a lot of mistakes, they're easy to fix. 26. All right, we're going to hit the little stoplight here to rebuild. And if we go back into our assembly, yep, we'll go and rebuild the assembly. And yeah, there we go. Looks like I got it right. So there we go. Now I'm going to show you a little trick, a little one of my the mates that I like to use. I go into here in a mate, and I go to advanced mates. There is a width mate that I like to use, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to choose this width right here, and right there, and as my tab. In my tab selection, I'm going to choose this guy right here and this guy right here. There we go. And what that does is that centers the tab within the width, or the width in the tab. You can make either the width or the tab, it doesn't matter. But beautiful, beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that just, okay, isn't that just a lovely CNC? Now, as said before, if you are feeling like you need some more structure, knock yourself out. You can put a 80-20 piece in there. I don't think I'm going to bother with it for now. I think it's going to be pretty good as is. Because for one thing, okay, let's go ahead and edit our spoil board a little bit. We're going to look at it from the top here, and we're going to put our holes along the side. And what we're actually going to do is we're going to make it our spoil board. For one thing, it's replaceable, and it should easily be replaceable. But we're going to put the holes in the top here, in that so that way we can secure it right to the 80-20 frame. And that's going to strengthen things up. That's going to create a kind of a torsion box, and make it so that if we want to remove that, then we can. So let's go ahead and do our hole wizard again. So hole wizard. Now we're going to go ahead and looks like we still got our 5/16, and that counter bore works just fine for me. So we'll go ahead and stick with that. And we're going to go, let's see here. Actually, you know what? Not yet. Control Z. We're going to do a linear pattern on this. So we're going to do a linear sketch pattern. Direction 1 is the x-axis. And we're going to put this every, oh boy, let's say 10 inches. Actually, I'll probably regret that. We'll change it here. But you know what? We're going to do 4 holes. Whoops, not the x-axis. We want that to be the y-axis. Okay, there we go. Now we want the distance from the side. I believe that should have been 3/4 of an inch from the side. I might be wrong. Like I said, I'm not running off of notes here or anything like that. I'm just now I'm going to do a little bit of a sin here, and I'm not going to. Well, no, I'm not. I'll go ahead and dimension off the side. My recording bogs down my system just a little bit, so my recording software, I'm not quite as snappy as I normally am in SolidWorks, but I gotta say this computer does pretty well. Okay, call that good. There we go. But once again, looks like I got ahead of myself, so I forgot to mirror it on the other side. So on my positions, I'm going to draw a center line from here to there. And then I'm going to do a mirror entities, or entities to mirror are right there. We're going to mirror about that center line. And just like that. So now if I'm wrong about something, I can go back and change that really easily. But no, we're not going to show that again. Okay. Okay. Now, if I thought things through correctly, yes, I did. Those line up, so that slot lines up with that hole. So all we got to do is put a little T-nut in there now, and our base attaches really nicely to the CNC. Now, I'm thinking ahead right here. I think that this is going to be narrower than I think we're going to have to make. I think that's 4 inches right now. I think for the sake of fitting some stuff in there, I think we're going to have to make it a little bit bigger. So let's go ahead and do that right now. As I said before, I'm not working off any notes here. I'm just kind of going as I go. I'm going to go ahead and close the spoil board. We're done with that. We're going to save all. I'm not working off of any notes here. I'm just kind of winging this as I go. So if you think I'm an idiot for doing something or another, well, you're right. Okay, 6 inches like there. Wow, did it need to be 6 inches? Probably not. Let's go to 5 inches. This is how I make a lot of my decisions. Yeah, that looks better. Okay, a little bit beefier. And you'll see my reason for doing that sooner. Oh, but another reason I came back here is we're going to make this a nice phenolic. Let's see here. So we're going to go with a painted look. And we're going to give it kind of a powder coat look. But if I give it like a dark powder coat finish, and then go in here, I can actually edit it. Yeah, and we can give it a nice, cool color, red, like a sports car. There we are. So just like that, we're we've upgraded our styling. So there it is. Now, so keep in mind a couple things right now before we close this out. Excuse me. The spacing for the hole from here to here uh, is not dependent on the spacing for this. Okay, now if we change that dimension right here, our spacing from these holes to these holes, this will, uh, that'll change, and we'll have to go through and edit it. I try to keep things to where you only have to edit one thing if you make a change like that. Um, and I might go later and I might add a relation right there. But for now, I'm just kind of trying to be quick because I'm just trying to get the basic stuff out here. But um, so right now I'm kind of taking some shortcuts, and then I go through and I kind of make it a little bit more official as I go. And you'll see kind of how I do that a little bit as we go on. You'll kind of understand a little bit more about the compromises I make during the design process. Because right now I'm not shooting for perfection. Right now I'm kind of just in a hurry to get everything there and to get everything in front of me. Then that way I can start. That way I can start going through and then fine tuning. And so I'm not shooting for perfection right now. Right now I'm just shooting to get everything pretty much out there. So, anyways, that concludes part 3. That gets us a base. Obviously, we have a lot more to go. We will get there, but so far I'm having fun. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for bearing with me, and we'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.